Welcome back to the Bourbon Retriever, where I go out in the wild, hunt bourbon, and bring it back to you. Today we're talking about the Michter's 10-year bourbon. I was ecstatic when I saw it on the shelf at retail. But the question is, if you see it, should you get it? Stay tuned. All right, today we have Michter's 10-year bourbon, 2023. They didn't release it last year. From what I read, the distillers didn't think it was quite up to par, which I am very happy about. I would love it when distillers will hold back product. They could have made money on those bottles, but instead they said no, it doesn't meet quality. I know Buffalo Trace did with Georgie Stagg. Also, I think it helps the brand, and also if you're going to spend that kind of money, you want to know that it's going to be good. But the question is this one good? Should they have held this one back? It is 96 proof. The nose, I'll say, is delicate. You get the oats. There's some sweetness in there. Not quite sure how to describe it. Maybe a very light caramel, but natural. Maybe like a honey. Not much spice going on, but I could smell this for days. If you just put this in a glass, it smells good. The question is, though, does it go to the palate? I would say the nose is definitely better than the palate, which makes sense. It's not as high proof. I like things that are closer to like the 115 area, maybe a little higher, a little lower. Somewhere in that area, I find is the perfect sweetness. A little bit watery, but it's complex. So you get the oak in the front, transition to some sweet, not a lot of spice in the background. It doesn't linger a ton. I'd probably say it's kind of medium, but it is complex. It's not single noted like some of the older products like Elijah Craig 18. That is just oak. You're only getting oak, and it's very pronounced and very heavy. Whereas this, I would say, is much lighter. You let you know it's there, but it's not overpowering. Yeah, overall, I think that is a very good bourbon. Now the question though is it worth $180 plus tax, whatever your state tax is? And that's if you find it at MSRP. I will. It's hard for me to recommend it because if you're someone who, let's say, you normally play in the $60 tier or even lower, I wouldn't say this is the bottle you spring for if you're going to go up to $200 for a special occasion. It beats many bottles in the $200 tier, but it's also not the best bottle in the $200 tier. If you're someone who buys all the LEs, is willing to spend $200, I would say get it. It beats the Elijah Craig 18. To me, it beats the Calumet series, even the Calumet 16. But it doesn't beat a lot of the higher proof stuff for me, which I think that's just, you just got to understand that going into it, what the proof is. But for a 10-year product, I think this might be the best 10-year-old product I've had. It beats Eagle Rare, it beats 10 Cup 10, beats Russell's 10, JD 10, it beats that for me. It definitely also, if you're looking between this and the rye, my buddy has the rye. We did a tasting comparing the two. The rye, it doesn't have any of the oak notes that the bourbon has. It's just very, very sweet for a rye, which is good. If you're not a rye person, it might be a perfect rye for you, but it doesn't have the complexity that this has. I would highly recommend you have the choice between the two. Definitely pick the bourbon over the rye. I need to figure out who Michter's contract distiller is. I know it's at least Kentucky. That's what it says on the website that the juice is. It doesn't taste like a lot of the other legacy distilleries. Maybe they'd have a special mash bill or yeast. Yeah, I'd love to find out one day what it is. So that's my review of Michter's 10. Please like, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Comment below if you think Michter's 10 is worth a buy, if you've had it or not. Also, put comments about other bottles that you'd like reviewed. I'm always looking to try new things and also want to put out content that you guys will enjoy. Until next time, cheers.